Dallas Cowboys come out of this draft class doing some amazing things, but they didn't address their most important need. Their most important need being wide receiver. They got Tyler Booker to shore up the interior of their offensive line. They got Shavon Revel, who has the potential to become an all-pro caliber corner. He is Antonio Cromartie reincarnated. They also got Donovan Ezeraku with great value to join an already pretty stout pass rush. It's going to be tough to throw the ball against this defense. But they didn't draft a wide receiver. They didn't draft one early. They didn't draft one at all. They drafted two running backs. They drafted Phil Maffa
He's good.
and Jaden Blue. Two good running backs,
Yeah.
but an already crowded, weird accumulation of random names that they had during free agency. So this is a really weird draft in offseason, to no surprise from Jerry Jones. I need you to help me figure out, can the Dallas Cowboys, with this current offensive roster, compete, win the NFC East, or at least get to the playoffs in 2025?
No, they're just wasting time right now. And while they had I will agree, successful draft by their standards, are they aiming to make Jaden Blue an Antonio Gibson type player? Because I know he had prowess receiving the ball out of the backfield. I think he's a pretty good running back that can also catch the ball, but he's a running back. Who is Dak Prescott going to be throwing the rock to this year? CeeDee Lamb might break the record for targets in a season. He probably will. Other than that, the Cowboys also aren't instilling a bunch of faith in me that they're going to be running the ball a ton, because they didn't go out and sign a big-time running back. They got good pieces. Maffa, good piece. Blue, good piece. Rest of the running back room, decent pieces. What is the offensive game plan here? Is it just going to be Sloppenheimer balance, and we're going to just boringly try to march down the field 3-and-out Cowboys? Because it's likely leaning that.
I think Brian Sloppenheimer's goal is that he wants to run the rock.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to rotate 4 running backs. It's like in Madden when you turn up the auto sub on running backs, you put it all on 99. So like every snap, we got a new running back coming in. We're all just bringing a new running back. Oh, it's third down. We're going to put a new running back, different guy that we're going to have in there. Jaden Blue, you're going to go catch a pass. We're going to bring Javonte Williams. Oh, now Phil Maffa is going to take the second and short carry. You're just going to keep running backs in. Not going to throw the ball.
That's great.
No balance.
That's fantastic. But why would you then pay Dak Prescott so much money and CeeDee Lamb so much money if we are going to let those two players fall by the wayside? Just do it yourself now. You guys are the cornerstones. I get that
question.
But where is it? Because the investment in dollars is going to a certain scheme of offense, while the investment in players brought in is not reflecting that.
I feel like really conflicted about talking about their draft class because, again, I love it. Like, I really love the value of what they got. I am anti-reach. I am anti-take the best player available, and that's what they did. They probably really wanted Ashton Jeanty and Ted McMillan. It's an assumption, but that would have been perfect for them. Those would have been perfect picks. Tyler Booker's there on the board. Ryan and I on A to Z Film Room reported, Ryan had really good sourcing to tell us that the NFL loved Tyler Booker than everybody else did. And that came to fruition. He's a hard-nosed, great leader. That is going to elevate this team. To what your point is, I can understand the philosophy of just simply in a vacuum, written on a piece of paper, they're going to run the football. They're going to try and run the football. They're going to try and be hard-nosed. They're going to run it down your throat. I understand that.
Yeah.
But the way that this looks when we look at the actual roster doesn't add up. It's 4 random running backs. Not one of them is a premier former Pro Bowler. There's no Derrick Henry in here. There's no Saquon Barkley.
Well, they couldn't have signed Henry last year. He was only a free agent for months and wanted to play in Dallas.
Sure. And they have one of the highest paid quarterbacks. They have one of the highest paid receivers and nothing else. The approach should have been with Schlappenheimer was to build out an arsenal of receivers. Like I almost would have thought, and it sucks to say this, the Ezeraku and Shavon Revel picks, they could have maybe approached it similarly to what the Houston Texans did, where they already had a decent receiving room, and they said, we're going to go all in. We're going to take Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll.
Yeah.
I think that might have been better suited for what the current weaknesses are of this roster.
Well, we also know Micah wasn't happy per his BR stream on Thursday that he thought that the Cowboys were getting Ted McMillan. He thought about it. Big reaction. Great. I'm sure that's great optics for Dallas also having their next premier player.
I didn't see this, that he
was not thrilled. And he made a face when Booker was drafted swayed after Booker was drafted because Tyler Booker's Tyler Booker, and he's here to kick some ass, and any football player will like that. I do like that. But the cornerstone of your defense and one of the draft prospects that you really nailed, going on a stream and being visibly confused by the picks and the decisions being made, especially in the first round, not a good look. Dallas still stuck in the mud. They good pieces that they drafted. You are completely right about that. But just because that is taking place doesn't mean they're taking a better step forward for their entire team and the approach. It's like they drafted with no context. It's a brand new year and everything that happened last year is gone, wiped. You can't approach that in the NFL draft. That's lazy and it's unaware. And you will have a mediocre year again because you are not contextualizing what happened last year and what we need to do this year.
I do think that they improved in some areas of weakness, but having to figure out what's happening at receiver does really make me scratch my head. They should go trade for George Pickens. I know that it's not exactly like a total
fire me up
personality fit, but you need something. You need that contested catch point guy to play opposite of CeeDee Lamb, which you thought you were getting with Ted McMillan.
You know the different conversation we'd be having if they traded for Cooper Kupp? And Cooper Kupp not even being like a super hot free commodity this offseason. But if they had Cooper Kupp, I'd be looking at this whole thing differently. Or Devontae Adams.
If they went after...
In the offseason, the free agency.
Right, and the craziest thing is like how hard would it have been to have brought either of those guys in? Like even if Devontae Adams, he's kind of towards the end of his career. Same thing with Cooper Kupp. There's generally a question with the both of them of like, how much more juice do they really have? Mostly with Kupp because he's been banged up. Devontae Adams, I think that there's a hope and a desire that he actually ends up being pretty productive this year. I think we both agree that we think he will be. He was one of our favorite free agent signings. But to your point, at the very least, even if they're even half of themselves, that's better than the current room of receivers that you have.
Yeah.
The whole room.
Completely mismanaged approach, top to bottom. Good draft, Dallas. I'm not going to knock you on that, but everything else is suspect.